So let's talk about the market opportunity. Is this the right time to get into assisted living, to build a memory care mansion? And I would say definitively, yes, it is the right time. So there's two reasons I want to talk about to break this down, and then now is the time you should jump into this if you're on the fence on it. First and foremost, the baby boomer generation. This is a group of people that were born after World War II, from the year 1946 to the year 1964. And that is the biggest generation of people that has been born in the United States. There was about 76 million people born in that 19-year period. That's a huge percentage of the US population. So the beginning of the baby boomer generation, born in 1946, that makes them 78 years old. And I can specifically tell you that I have several 78-year-olds in our assisted living. And again, we're end-of-life care, we're memory care. So the wave has begun. It has started. Now is the time to get into it. And we're literally just at the very front of this. If you want to get in now, it's not like you missed it 10 years ago. Like, now is the very beginning of this wave, and it is going for at least the next 20, if not the next 30 years. This is the play where you can get in now, build your business, and have an exit play 5, 10, 20 years from now with a huge equity potential. So the timing is just right. You are just here now on the front of this. Ultimately, my niche, the memory care mansion, it's more end of life. It's people with memory care. And honestly, there's a lot of people who are getting early onset Alzheimer's, dementia in their 70s, right? This is the people that we're seeing, the baby boomer generation, just a little bit of the front of them coming in on this wave. And then again, people will decline. They will go through the funnel. They may not be in the huge wave of them at the end of life stage, but they may be in the independent living stage, working their way through assisted living, and then will continue year after year, continue to hit our niche, right? That more end of life stage. It is just the beginning now. So I think it's really important to maximize the opportunity in the marketplace from the generation that is coming towards us, because it's going to be a long play where there is a clear shortage in housing for assisted living, for end-of-life care, for memory care. Okay, that's one component. The next component of it, regardless of baby boomers, is what the market has to offer. The market has shifted. It was definitely moving away from the big smelly facility prior to COVID, right? But now in a post-COVID world, man, there is such a bad rap for the big facility. People do not want to be there, right? Like, the nursing home is dead. Nobody wants to be in one of those single story, like small, long, gross hallway nursing homes, right? So the market, big corporate, has shifted. They started building luxury assisted livings, independent livings, memory cares, and they're building the big 4-story buildings, right? And you have 150 beds of independent, and they're creating their own funnel, right? You go from there, and then you have 60 beds of assisted living, has its own license, and then perhaps from there it has 16 or 20 beds for memory care on the first floor, right, of this big, nasty facility. It may be beautiful, it may be new construction, but the vibe is still the same. It's still a gross facility, right? It still has that death feeling, right? So I think this is a huge advantage, because for me, I'm just taking the end result there, right? They're gonna have their funnel. They're gonna bring in their grandmas and grandpas through their big marketing budgets. They're gonna pull in those 150 beds that they might be there for 5 or 10 years, right? Until there's a fall, until there's more medication needs, until there's incontinence, and then they move down the funnel into the assisted living, right? They're gonna go from 150 down to 60 in this same building. And maybe that's when they start looking at me, when they start looking at Platinum Resort and finding a more intimate model. But it might not be for another couple years after that. So ultimately, I am fantastically happy with the market, with big corporate, with the REITs coming in, building and ultimately managing these big facilities all over. In my city of Georgetown, Texas, they have built 5, in the last 3 years, 5 huge facilities, 4 stories high with several hundred beds. And they continue to build them. They continue to run them. And I'm literally like 5 minutes from them. I don't think that's a problem. That is my secret sauce. That is my advantage, because I am at the bottom of the funnel. I just have to fill my mansions. They're 16 beds each. So they're going to have these huge marketing budgets. They're going to pull in people who are in the early baby boomer stages, right? They are still driving, they are still independent, they have their own house and maybe looking to downsize into their first apartment, right? That has like the cafeteria or the restaurants on the first floor where they can go make everything easy. And then from there, they will continue to decline. But I don't need to fill 150 beds. I want to fill 16 beds, right? That makes it super easy because really the big corporate is pulling in all of my future residents. They're doing the work for me. They're doing the marketing, and they're going to be there. They're going to be there for several years until they get bad care. And the POA, the daughter, is going to get sick of it. There's going to be like the 20th time that they can't get a hold of management, that mom has bed sores, that mom is not getting her medications properly managed, that mom is stuck in her room all day. I hear the story over and over and over again. Most of our residents, they do not come from home. They come from the big facility. I love that corporate is building these all around me. They are pulling in my future residents and making it so easy for me because the market has shifted. Nobody wants to be at end of life in a 4-story building. That's not where people want. They want to be in a more home-like environment, right? So our niche is I want to create all of the care, all of the amenities, everything that you could get at that 4-story building in their assisted living wing or in their memory care unit. I want to offer all of that, but in a custom built mansion, right? That's why we build these 10,000 square feet, 16 bedrooms, 17 bath, fully purpose built, ADA compliant. They're gorgeous homes. They look and feel like a home. There's not a parking lot and a red curb in the front. It's an actual house. It's a big old house that looks super elaborate and expensive, but we can offer all the care, all the amenities, right? With the home health, the hospice, the doctors that come in every week, 24/7 care. We can offer memory care. We have a private salon. We have a chef there. Everything that you could get at the 4-story building. When daughter's touring, I'm like, why are you over there? Right? Moms are getting bad care for years. Look, we have an open room coming up, right? Like there's just 16 here. It's better than 60 over there. We have everything that you can offer, and we have private rooms. We can do everything for mom. So I love this opportunity. I think the niche that we do is perfect for the market right now because the market really only has too big on one side, the big smelly facility, and too small on the other side, the dinky RAL. The 6 beds cannot compete with me either. They may be small and intimate and have an owner operator that has a great heart that can provide amazing care, but they can legitimately not afford the care that they need. They cannot afford to have all the outside services come in. They cannot afford to have a chef and a salon, and usually they don't have private rooms. Usually they do not have a purpose-built home with ADA compliant hallways and bathrooms and showers and all those things. I can provide everything that we need for end of life, and I can do it in a place where the family actually wants to be, right? And I think that's why this is the time. This is the sweet spot, this niche of the memory care mansion. You're filling this void, and you can do this in any city, right? We're not talking about residential zoning. We're talking about complying with the city, complying with the licensure, getting it purpose built for what the requirements are, and therefore having everything that our future customers are going to want.